Namaskar. I, Jyoti Mansukhani, on behalf of Prerna Foundation, would like to welcome you all to this third session of Changing Waves for the Love of Art. Our artist for today is a young and dynamic Kathak dancer who skillfully handles the roles of editor, publisher, dancer, teacher, choreographer, and of course her family duties. She has received her training in Kathak from Srimati Shambhavi Dandekar. She is the recipient of the Kanak Bhushan Award by Brahmanath, Mumbai, and Yuva Kalakar Puraskar by Pandit Bhimsen Joshi Foundation, Gadak, Karnataka. She has also received the fellowship from Baitak Foundation, Pune, to teach Kathak to children from low socio-economic group. Please welcome Srimati Neha Muthyan. Namaskar,
Thank
Neha.
you, Didi.
A very warm welcome to you.
Thank you
We
so
will
much.
be interviewed by Swarda Dekhne, a Bharatnatyam dancer, writer, and a dance blogger. Namaskar, Swarda.
Thank you.
And a very
Thank
warm
you.
welcome to you too.
Thank you,
Over to you,
Jyoti ji,
Swarda.
and thank you, Nick.
Hi, Swara.
So, welcome Neha to our new session of Changing Waves for Love of Art, Love for the Art. First of all, before we start talking about your achievements and your contribution to the field, first of all, I would like to know your journey in Kathak. Every dancer has their special journey, so I would like to know your journey and how did you decide to take it as a career to Kathak.
Okay, I started learning Kathak when I was around 7 years old, 8 years old. The basic reason for joining Kathak was that the class was nearer to my place. So I had not really thought of I want to learn Kathak or I want to learn Bharatnatyam or any other dance form. But the only reason for choosing that class was that it was closer to my place. So that is how it started. Then I started learning under Poonam Gandhi. She is a senior disciple of Manisha Tai Sathe, and Manisha Nrutyalaya had a branch in Karve Nagar at that time. So she was looking after that batch, and I started my training with her. Then in I think around 8 to 9 months, her marriage was fixed, and that's when Shambhavi Tai took over the Karve Nagar branch. And since then till today, I am with Shambhavi Tai and under her training. So this span of like 20 plus years has really taught me a lot, and I am extremely lucky to have Shambhavi Tai as a guru in those formative years, like when we are when you are in teenage and you are very prone to a lot of things, and there are chances that you might get into the wrong field. So at that time, Shambhavi Tai was a very strong anchor, and she really made how I can imbibe all that I have learned in the dance, all the qualities that are needed for becoming a good dancer, how I can imbibe those qualities into my personal life. So that journey has been extremely enriching. And I decided to take Kathak as a career, I think when I was around 18, 19, or maybe even 20 years. That is quite late. So I was not very much sure. I am an interior designer graduate. So I was working with a firm for 6-8 months before jumping my career into dance. So after that, it has been a journey of ups and downs, like every performer has. So it's been good. It's been good so far.
Okay, great. So we all know you as a Kathak dancer, but we all know you as magazine editor of a very famous magazine. Loud applause. And it is from Pune. And I would like to say it very proudly, because we have someone in our dance field who is doing some work like this through magazine. So please tell us about Loud Applause. What inspired you to start Loud Applause?
Um, the the idea was not about a magazine that inspired me. The idea was about archiving, cataloging various dancers, which really instigated the idea of making it into a magazine. So that was the basic reason. And another reason was that my mother, she's a copywriter. She writes a lot of, she writes on various topics, and her articles have been published in various magazines and newspapers too. So she was working for quite a long time, and when she decided to retire, after she decided to retire, there was a completely blank phase in her life. She was feeling very frustrated that she's not able to write anything. So I just told her, to get her out of that frustration, that you have been, observing my journey, observing me as a dancer. So why don't you write it from the point of view of a parent? So you write it, and then let's see, we can, we'll publish it in a booklet form or something like that. So then she was very excited. Then she started writing, and then that is how slowly the idea developed. Like, okay, now this thing we have. Then I realized that yes, there are so many other people who are writing and who are taking on topics which have been really not discussed, which were not discussed maybe 6 years back. But I thought that, yeah, maybe if I can do a collective of all this, then maybe it can work. So I started doing some research and everything, and slowly Loud Applause took the shape that I wanted. So it's how that
Okay,
it was started.
Okay, and so how many years completed to Loud Applause?
Loud Applause completed 6 years in this January.
Oh wow, lovely, lovely, lovely. Very nice, very nice. And I will say this is really a great contribution to the field, because as performance is important, as well as the theory is also important, and you are providing
Yeah.
the theory and very important articles and interviews through your magazine. So but as I know about Loud Applause, so first it was for few years it was in a printed format, and then you shifted to the e-magazine. So why did you take such a decision?
I love handling books. So the first basic thing was, yeah, it was a hard copy. But then due to some shortage of funds also, because printing requires a lot of funding. And somehow after 3-4 years, I couldn't manage it on my own. So eventually I was going to turn it into a e-magazine. But maybe if funds were there, I would have continued for another 2-3 years as a print version. But then I took the decision of making it into a e-magazine a little bit earlier. But that has also given me one advantage, that I can now experiment a lot with designing. Then I can increase the number of pages in the magazine, which was quite a hurdle for me during the print version. And the print version was black and white. Inside, the pages were all black and white. Now I have the option of making it all colored and more interesting and more interactive if possible.
Yeah.
So yes, it was a little bit a decision that was taken earlier, but eventually it was meant to be.
Yeah, I can understand about the funds things. And
Yeah.
and another no, and I would like to tell our audience that it's a very beautiful magazine. Every cover page of the magazine and designing is amazing, and the content is also as well as equally amazing, and you all need to subscribe and read the magazine. So
Thank
thanks a
you.
lot, Neha, for loud applause, and congratulations for completing 10
Thank you
years.
so much. Let me just
But
add one thing on this, that
yeah,
the content in Loud Applause is not only for any specific dance style. Like if people
yes,
normally
yes.
assume that I am a Kathak dancer, so the articles would be mostly based on Kathak. But it is not like that. They are not based on any dance style as such, but they cater to all the dancers.
Yeah.
And the aim of the magazine is to enrich every dancer's journey. So even maybe a contemporary dancer might also find something, uh, some point which can be used for his medium of dance. So it is a universal magazine.
Great, great. So, see, we are looking you as a Kathak dancer, then as a Loud Applause magazine editor also, and also as an organizer. I think you are doing so many things as an organizer. So maybe I think it is about Sanchari Festival and then Dance Dialogue. I think you organize it under Loud Applause. Yeah, am I right?
Yeah.
And even you are doing with me the Nritya Shabda competitions and click the moment competition. So I would like to know, actually we would like to know, what is motivation behind starting all these activities?
The motivation mainly is to get loud applause across to as many dancers as possible. As we know that dance is a performing art, people are not very much keen on on the reading aspect of it. So since I want to make that a focal point for dancers, I need to have something which will attract them towards the magazine. you know Not only the content or the designing part, but the thing that people mostly associate dance with, like having a workshop, or having to getting to interact with people, getting to interact with other dancers. So this is what really causes dancers, this is what makes dancers come together. So the main aim is to make loud applause more visible through these activities. And regarding Sanchari Film Festival, it was Arundhati Patwardhan, Kalavardhini's, she's the, you can say the, I can't find a word exactly, but she
She
looks
took an
after,
initiative.
she
Yeah.
took an
Okay.
initiative of
Okay.
for Sanchari. And then she contacted me and she asked me that if I would like to collaborate on this. So I was like, yes, any day. I mean, I really liked the idea of exploring dance through a extremely new perspective. Like we normally do it on a very on a very small level. Our perspectives are very limited, but when you see it on a 70 screen, there are a lot of things that are involved in it. So exploring dance on such a vast platform was really very exciting, and so I jumped in on that. Regarding Nritya Shabda and Click the Moment, I think we just connected by luck on that. And
Yes.
basically the aim of that those competition is to get the younger audience into picture and make them think about the topics, about the theoretical aspects of dance. And regarding Dance Dialogues is a initiative where it is an informal interaction with the dancer. And you get to know some, the personal side of that dancer, what actually goes into his or her mind why when she's choreographing or when she's doing a certain initiative, or something out of the box, or using dance as a medium to get connected with the society. So these, and another one that Loud Applause organizes is Sakshi Bhav, which is totally focused on the performing aspect of dance.
Okay.
So it is a complete 3-day workshop series, which is conducted by a legendary dancer. So performing aspect, the interactive aspect, I've tried to combine everything into
Yeah.
it.
Yes, great, great, great. Really nice. And I know you have received very, very nice response from the dance students and senior artists also. I know. So it
Yes.
is really very
They have been
amazing,
extremely
yes,
supportive,
initiative.
extremely encouraging, and I mean, I'm really very thankful to all of them.
Great, great. So, but now, how are you feeling with your work till now, at least with your magazine and other initiatives?
I am extremely satisfied and happy with whatever has happened for the past 6 years. And people have been very responsive. They have been extremely contributing. Like, I get a lot of calls or messages saying that I have written this topic
Yeah.
covered in Loud Applause, and I would like to send an article. You are one of the main contributors for Loud Applause. So yes, there are a lot of people who have been asking about writing in the magazine,
Yeah.
and we have a section called Showtime in the magazine, which showcases the performance photos. So we get a lot of response on that too. And whenever I have approached any senior dancer regarding a topic which I have in mind, or which other, like, I sometimes wish that this person should write for my magazine. Like, I should have an article from this dancer in the magazine.
Yeah.
So whenever I have approached such people, such dancers, they have been extremely supporting, and they have liked the idea, they have liked the magazine, they have liked the entire concept around it. And so I'm happy that I'm getting a lot of encouragement from these senior dancers, and quite a nice response from the young dancers. So right now I'm in a good place.
Great, great. Then what are your future projects, if you want to share it with us, and or your
uh,
dream project?
Dream project, I really don't have anything in lined up currently as a dream project, but I would like to have a dance production where I could really combine a lot of theater and lot of allied things related to dance into that production. So yes, that one is my dream project. So maybe after this current
Yeah.
scenario, I may start working on it.
Okay, okay, great, great. So there is nothing in planned right now for the future one
um,
immediately.
on the performance front, currently not. Like, everything is in the pipeline and nothing has been finalized yet. For Loud
Yes.
Applause, we are planning to make the website more upgraded, and make it open for a lot of dancers. Like, plan to have a directory of dancers, plan to have a new features on the website, like artist of the month, or something like that. So working on it.
Okay. Great. Great,
Yeah.
great. Okay. So now as a dancer, I want to ask you that it is said that key dancers have a shelf life. Do you agree with this?
um, Shelf life, mentally, no, there is no shelf life for what you think, you know so a
Huh.
dancer will be always thinking creatively, no matter what his age. So maybe the performance aspect might have a shelf life, but the the thinking aspect will never go. It will never go.
Yeah,
So
thinking
the
aspect
dancer will be
must. Yeah.
created in any form, like, she or
Yeah.
he will be make creating something. Like, maybe even if, like, he or she is not able to perform themselves, they might be
Mm.
tutoring other kids to make
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
production or something like that, put their ideas on stage. So no, I don't agree with that a dancer has a shelf life. So
Okay.
he or she,
Okay.
if capable, like, if they are really into it, they will surely be into it for their entire life.
Okay, so but you were you said that mentally you mean to say you were talking about a creative aspect as a creative aspect.
Creative. Yes. Yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah. Yes. Then I also agree with you. Okay. Yeah. So, but okay. So see, I generally feel as a dancer or as an artist or as a successful person, whatever you have achieved, we always be easily and happily talk about our success, our achievements. But everyone, goes through you know. Some bad things or bad experience, or do you ever think thought about quitting it, like somewhere did you feel negative?
I never thought of quitting it. Like even loud applause or or my performing career. I never thought of quitting any of those. Like however bad the things are, the option of quitting was never there for me. So yes, the negative aspect, the negativity surely made things go slow for some time. Like not getting enough programs, or not getting enough exposure, or not getting enough subscribers, or the thing that we are doing everything we can, and still I'm not able to get people's attention towards this. So yes, some down things, some down phases were there, but one thing that really kept me going was that I have this in me, I have this thought in me that I don't want to let my family or my gurus ever not feel proud about me. I always want them to think that, yes, she can do it. She will do it at her own pace, but she will do it. So I don't want to let any of these people down. So that is the thing that, makes me look past all the negative things that are happening. And I think that, yeah, aaj nahi to kal, like, I will get there. Whatever aims I have, whatever goals I have as a dancer, as an editor, so I will get there.
Great, great, great. This is called motivation and positivity. That's great, great. So, but then just tell me, okay, what is your best memory regarding your magazine? What is the best memory?
There are a lot of things that I am very fond of, lot of memories that I'm fond of, because Loud Applause really made me, it gave me a platform to approach a lot of senior dancers whom I wouldn't have actually, got a chance to meet ever. So meeting those, like I met Tawfiq Qureshi ji for an interview. I met Kumudini Lakhia ji for for a brief interaction. So there are a lot of dancers that I would have only imagined that when I would meet them, but because of Loud Applause, I could actually go and approach them. So all those meetings are very fond. I am very much fond of those meetings. And one thing I would like to share with you is that when Kumudini Lakhia ji, she was in Pune for a workshop that was organized by Nadrup. So after that, we were in the lift together. So as any, the protocol says that how we should introduce ourselves. So I did all the necessary introduction of myself. Like I'm Shambhavi Tai's student and I'm learning Kathak, and I'm a big fan of your work and everything. All the formalities were done. And I was trying to tell her that, I was trying to find the courage to tell her that I am the one who runs Loud Applause, because she was Kadam was a subscriber of Loud Applause at that time. So I really wanted to share that with her. So finally I got the courage and I told her that, Didi, I am the one who runs Loud Applause. And the moment I told her, her expression changed. Like, I could see कि हाँ एक student बात कर रही है तो ठीक है. It was a very normal thing to react to it कि अच्छा okay आप इनसे सीखते हैं, and suddenly it was like, oh, so you are that girl. you know, so I
Uh,
was like, yeah. And then she asked me a lot of things about loud applause, and then she told me that चलो अभी पूना से भी थोड़ा सा बाहर निकलो मैगजीन के बारे में, कभी हमारे यहाँ पे आओ and everything, you know. She really
क्या
encouraged me
बात है.
to do that, and I was happy that she was reading it, you know, because the references that she told me during our conversation, it made me really feel very nice that yes, she has been going through the articles. So it was just not a very uh, upfront reaction, but she really meant what she was saying. So yes, this one memory I will always remember with me, will always remain with
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yes, and it helped you, to extend,
Yes,
you approached to new people and new artists, and they
yes,
contributed to your magazine. Yes, so
yes,
this is really amazing advice, and you followed it. This is very important because we met to many people and they told us many things, but we
correct.
just listen and we forget about it. But it is
Yeah.
really very important that you are listening and you are following their suggestions, so it helped you
Yes.
and for to your magazine also, so it's really amazing. Great. So now, again, we will come back to the performance and classical dance teaching section. So I just want to ask you that should classical dance be taught to a particular class of society, or it should be for all?
It should be for all, definitely. Definitely, because it teaches you so many things. It teaches you so many things about yourself, about how to handle yourself, about how to think about certain aspects of the society. So it should be taught to everybody, and also age should also not be a barrier in that. Like, you know, if you
Yeah,
are 40 plus, if you are 50 plus, you cannot learn classical dance. It should not be like that. You can always start, you know,
yeah,
not necessary that you make a career out of it, but you can always learn and imbibe the qualities that it will teach you in the due course.
right.
So I have been teaching to a lot of students in a school which Jyoti Didi mentioned that I have received a fellowship from Baitak Foundation, and they I have to teach to a group of students in a school which are below socioeconomic level. So firstly, when on the first day when I asked them that do you have any idea what Kathak is or what dance is? So basically everybody was under the impression that Kathak is what you see on screen, like, you know, in Bollywood. So
Yeah,
that is the image of classical dance at the school level. So that needs to change. And if you need to change that, then learning from a very, small age is required. And of course, like anybody and everybody should be allowed to learn classical dance. No barrier at all.
absolutely. And on the school level, I think they have started, putting at least a one lesson on the classical dance, or
Yes.
they have started classes
Yes.
for students in their regular sessions for Kathak
Yes.
and
Yes.
Bharatnatyam, especially even for the music also. So I think this is just a start, and
Yes.
we need to
Yeah.
do it. So yeah. Yes, exactly. So but see, this is about the students are in the learning perspective, but if you think about professional dancers, like you mean, we are the young dancers, but for the seniors also, do you really think that, do you agree with this pay and perform movement? Because if we see outside, there are many festivals, there where if you want to perform there, yes, they are prestigious stage, but still, if you want to perform there, you have to pay some money if you want to perform,
Yeah.
but you don't get anything in written.
Yes.
Actually, you should get something,
Paper.
some remuneration for that, but
Yes.
here things are exactly opposite. So suddenly there is a movement called pay and perform, and all dancers are talking about it. So do you agree with this pay and perform thing?
No, I am totally against it, and I will never support it. I will never do it myself. So it is. I don't know why it is. It is such that, like, organizers, I have no idea why they are doing it, because what I think is that you ask a certain dancer, like if she wants to perform, if you can afford to pay her fees, fine. If you can't afford, you can request her to perform for free. If that, it is the dancer's choice. If she wants to
Yeah.
perform for free, then she can come and do that. But asking the dancer to pay and come, and it's not only a small amount. I mean, I don't agree to this. Like, even if it is 100 rupees or 10,000 rupees, it is wrong. But the amount of registration fees these people are charging are, I mean, ridiculous. It is really ridiculous. And sadly, there are some dancers who are falling prey to all this, because they think that that will give them a lot of exposure. And you know there is one phase in a dancer's life where you want to perform more, and no matter what you want, you just want to perform. You want to get into, you want to be on the radar of every organizer, something like that. So there are some young dancers who are falling prey to this, but there are a lot more people who are creating awareness against this. Like, they are telling on social media, on in print, everything, that one should not support this. One should not support it, because it is against the dignity of a dancer. You will not ask any engineer or a doctor to pay and come and treat the patient or do a construction work.
Yeah.
So why us?
Yes,
we
exactly.
we put in a lot of work. We put in a lot of work. We put in a lot of hard work. And musicians hote hain, recordings hote hain, so that doesn't come for free. So why not get paid for whatever you are doing?
Exactly, as you said, nothing we will get in free. But as we talked about pay and perform movement, same, I have one question, that do you agree with pay for the art movement also? Because see what is
Yes,
happening. Yeah,
yes.
because it is exactly opposite. Because
Yeah,
if you see to general audience or people, they have money, and they are they can spend money, 500,000 rupees on movies, theater, etc., and
yeah,
shopping. But if comes to art, classical dance, they think about even 100 rupees. Oh, why they
yes,
are yeah, why there is a ticket, they should give it free. Yeah, so
yeah,
this is
yeah,
also happening at the same time. So
yeah.
many times what we do for to get audience, we make it free.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we will have only a very cheap rupees,
Nominal
100 rupees
ticket rate.
nominal amount. Yeah, so these things are happening at the same time. So do you agree with pay for the art movement?
Yes, pay for arts is definitely a must. It is a must initiative. And it will definitely help dancers to look at dance as a fruitful career. you know जब भी हम लोग करियर के बारे में सोचते हैं, one thing is there that yes, you need money. You- ऐसा नहीं है, it's not like that dance करके पेट भर जाएगा. To be very practical, it is not like that. And there are some families, like, who are, all the family members are into the art field. Like, one is a santoor player, one is a tabla player, one is a dancer, another one maybe is a singer. So if these people just keep on doing free programs, how will they survive? So
Yeah.
pay for arts is a must. Like, there is no option to it. There is no option to it. And of course, then it becomes the dancer's responsibility or the artist's responsibility to deliver that quality of a performance. So if you're charging 300, 400 for a performance, it is your responsibility that the audience should feel that yes, this program or this concert is worth whatever I am paying for. Then people will come. So it is a two-way road, you
Hmm.
know.
Yeah.
So if you
So
want to
yeah.
get paid, you have to deliver. You have to deliver that quality.
Yeah, absolutely, but
But it is a win-win
yeah.
situation.
Yes, exactly. And as a dancer, we also need to change the psychology of our own audience. Actually,
Exactly.
we should
Exactly.
we should tell them, we should change their mentality that no, you have to pay for this, and then because we need to tell them the importance of all these things. So
Exactly. And that should come from a very initial age, like, when they are at a student level.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yes,
students who are learning dance, they become the future audience. So,
absolutely.
these people need to get trained. And actually, Manisha Tai, when she used to organize her class annual programs, I
Hmm.
remember that I was a part of Manisha Nrutyalaya for a small time. So I remember that she used to tell us that you have to sell 10 tickets, because the whole aim behind that was that you should meet 10 people. You should tell them what you are learning, why you are learning, so that was our training as well as educating the
Yeah,
audience. So that that was a very nice initiative that Manisha Tai made us do, that
yeah.
no, you have to do it. I don't know what happens. You go talk to people, and that really made us that made us think.
Uh,
Keep, like, when you're approaching somebody and telling that person that please come for my program, you will say a lot of things with that. It's not that please come for my program, but you will tell them that I have been learning Kathak for past 10 years. This is what we'll be putting up on stage. So this is what our item will be showcasing. So you think about that. So that is a nice thing. That was a very nice quality that she imbibed in us. So this is basically marketing.
yeah, yeah.
You have to market yourself.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Then, but in this all this scenario, what do you think? What are the challenges for today's young dancers? If they choose it as a career, if they
I think
choose art as a career.
I think if students take up dance as a career in the at present, I think they have a very, very nice future, because currently people are taking classical dance or even classical music very seriously,
Yeah,
and there are a lot of avenues available for performance and even allied activities with this field. And with with internet or anything, exposure to all kinds of dance forms or anything that they want is just a click away. So
yeah.
I think it is a very nice period for taking up dance or art as a career. And I think they will really enjoy it in future. They'll be really happy with their decision.
Yes. But and do you think that there are many career options? Not only see what happens is when someone decides to take it as a career, they only think about, yes, I want to be a dancer, I want to be a performer, Kathak performer, Bharatanatyam performer. But don't you think now you are a magazine editor, you are organizing many things in your dance field? So do you think that there are lots of fields in this particular dance
Yes,
field also, where you can you can do something, and which is
yes,
necessary
definitely.
nowadays?
Yes, definitely. Basically, when you take dance as a career or any art field, the sole aim is performance. So yes, that will always be a focal point for any artist. But there are a lot of allied activities that are developing, like makeup, costume designing for that matter, uh, stage management, backstage management, or even sound editing, video editing, videography, photography. So if you are a dancer, you know where to click, you know. If you are a dancer, you know how to take the video, where the frame should be focused, where the dancer is going to take exit, take entry, so that you focus your frame accordingly. So if you are a trained dancer, all these fields are more, you can be more creative in these fields if you have the basic knowledge of dance or any art, like, you know. So yes, there are a lot of allied activities that are opening up, and but although I still think that whoever gets into this field, their aim is to perform.
Yes,
So
of course.
for many years they will be focused on that. Simultaneously they'll get exposed to all these fields, and eventually, maybe according to anybody's interest, they'll get into that allied.
Yes. Then what is your message, to these young artists?
um, I think I can't say anything pinpoint, but I think they should read, they should research whatever whatever they are doing. They should ask questions about it. They should you know uh, be extremely positive about this field, because there are it's not like that you graduate and you start earning. You know, it's not like that. In any other field, you graduate, you take up a job and you start earning. In dance it is not like that. First of all, you are always a student, you know. So keep your expectations, you know, at a realistic level. Just don't, like, you know, don't compare yourself uh, with a celebrity dancer or something like that. You work out your parameters, and you work in that area, you know. So be focused, and slow and steady. It's not a rat race, so it's just slow and steady, then you'll get whatever you want.
Great. Thank you so much, Neha.
Thanks.
I felt so nice to listening your views on all these things, and I hope all young dancers will get something, to learn from all these things you have told us. Before I conclude it, I think Jyoti ji wants to ask you
Yeah.
something.
Neha, just sorry to take you back to your magazine. What was the thought behind its name, Loud Applause?
Yeah, that is a very interesting and a quick story. Actually, when we were discussing about the name, like what it should be titled, so my husband, he just asked me that, uh, what is it that a dancer desires the most, you know. So I just said that, yeah, a packed auditorium and loud applause after the performance. So this is what every dancer desires. So then immediately after that he said that, yeah, loud applause, so this is what every dancer wants. So we just went ahead with the name. It just clicked me that, yeah, this is what every dancer wants and this is what we'll give. So that is how the name stuck.
Great.
That's nice, great. Okay, one final question, Neha. In this current pandemic situation, everything has gone digital. The classes also are being held online. How do you see the future after the post scenario, pandemic scenario?
It is very tough to answer this question, Didi, right now, because currently, like, you know, you really have no idea what tomorrow is going to be like.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
we are hearing news, we are hearing current, the counts that are really rising up, and it will take some time. It will take some time to get back to the actual normal that any dancer wants. But I think the digital mediums are really opening up, and dancers are getting acquainted with that. They are getting used to that. And maybe for some time at least, I think that would be the stage. That would be the stage. And even whenever this pandemic ends, um, I'm not very much sure how packed the audience, how packed the auditoriums will be.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, people, that thing is going to be there in our minds for a long time.
That's true. That's true.
To go into a closed space, to sit beside, to sit very closely to somebody, that is going to be there for a long time in our minds. And so even if things get back to normal, I think we will have to make peace with less number of audience, and a lot of guidelines for performances, a lot of guidelines.
Yes, agree. This social distancing may continue for quite some time. I agree. All right. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, Swarda.
Sorry, just I have one question. Then you can take a end note. Sorry. So, Neha, do you believe this virtual learning, and then virtual workshops and lectures, etc. Anything, even the schools are has become now virtual. So, do you think this virtual learning is will help students for their future?
Currently, I don't think I have any say in this, because no matter what I think, this is the way it will be for a long time. So we have to make peace with it. We have to find new tricks and new ways to get across to students, and make virtual learning as interesting and as personal as it would have been in a physical class, so currently, let's say for another year or so, we have to make the most of this, because we love teaching, students love to learn. So
Correct.
this is just a bump, once you cross that,
medium is
medium
changed.
has just changed. The feelings on both the sides are still the same. So they are also making extra efforts to understand, and because if it is very tedious to teach, but I think it is extremely tedious to learn. Physical class, you can just hold that student's hand and say that no, it should be like this, not like this. You can touch and say. But guiding virtually, and the student, he will do this and 10 different times, and eventually he'll get what the position we want. So yeah, the students are also making a lot of effort, because it is very scary, screen, you are alone in front of the screen with no friends around, because we are used to being in learning dance with a group of people. So it is tough, it is extremely tough, but right now no option, so just go with the flow.
So slowly dancers will become very smart with the technology
Yes,
now.
they will have to, because then they have no option. They have
They
really
have
have
no
no
option.
option. They have to.
Yes. Thank you, Neha.
Thank you, Swarada, so much.
We hope for the best for all of us. So,
Yes,
and,
Didi.
thank you so much, Neha. It was a lovely session. Thank you, Swarda.
Thank you, Jyoti ji. Thank you,
Namaste.
Neha.
Thanks, Swarada.